Every day, your prostate is fighting a battle. It's a quiet war, fought without a single sound, deep inside your body. It's a battle against time, against hormones, against the very process of aging itself. For millions of men over 40, over 50, over 60, this silent war has very loud consequences. It's the reason you find yourself standing in front of the toilet at 3 a.m., waiting and waiting for something that feels like it will never start. It's the reason you can't sit through a whole movie without that nagging, urgent pressure in your bladder. It's the reason you feel a sinking anxiety every time you plan a road trip, your mind secretly mapping out every single rest stop along the way. This small gland, no bigger than a walnut, can hold your entire life hostage. It can steal your sleep, your confidence, and your sense of freedom. Now, what if I told you there's a secret weapon in this fight? What if I told you that something you may have been taught to feel ashamed of, something you've done in private your entire life, something you might even worry is harming your prostate, could actually be one of the most powerful, natural, and scientifically backed ways to protect it? Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on one of the biggest taboos in men's health. We are going to talk about masturbation, not with jokes or embarrassment, but with hard science and groundbreaking research. Because what daily, or even just regular ejaculation does to your prostate is genuinely shocking. And it's not what you think. Stick with me, because what you're about to learn could change how you view your health forever. Before we get to the controversial part, we need to understand the battlefield. And that's right here, the prostate gland. For the first few decades of your life, you probably never gave it a second thought. Its main job is to produce the fluid that nourishes and transports sperm. It's a key player in fertility. But as a man crosses the threshold of 40 and then 50, a slow, relentless change begins. Your body starts converting testosterone into a far more potent hormone called DHT, or dihydrotestosterone. This hormone is like a powerful fertilizer for your prostate cells. It signals them to multiply, causing the gland to grow. This condition is called benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. Let's break that down. Benign means it is not cancer. Hyperplasia simply means an increase in the number of cells. Let me be clear. BPH is incredibly common. It's a natural part of aging for most men. But natural doesn't mean it's pleasant. The urethra, the tube that carries urine from your bladder, runs directly through the center of the prostate. When the prostate enlarges, it's like a giant clamp squeezing down on a garden hose. This squeezing action is the direct cause of all those symptoms that drive you crazy. Nocturia, waking up at night to urinate. Your bladder can't empty completely, so it fills up faster. Hesitancy, that frustrating delay before the stream starts. Weak stream, the flow is weak and often intermittent. Incomplete emptying, the feeling that you still have to go even after you've just finished. Now, for decades, men were told to just live with it. It's just getting old. But in urology, we know that's not good enough. We have medications that can relax the prostate muscles or even shrink the gland. We have surgical procedures that can open up that channel. But what if there's a behavioral change you can make? A natural process you can leverage to fight back against this prostate clamp? This is where the conversation gets interesting, and a little uncomfortable for some. But it's time we stopped worrying in silence. I want you to think of your prostate not as a solid lump of tissue, but as a complex, delicate sponge. It's made up of thousands upon thousands of tiny ducts and glands. The job of these glands is to constantly produce prostatic fluid. It's a 24/7 manufacturing plant. This fluid fills up these tiny ducts, waiting to be expelled during ejaculation. Now, what happens if the factory keeps producing, but the shipments never go out? This leads us to a concept urologists call the prostate congestion, or stagnation hypothesis. If the prostate is not regularly flushed out through ejaculation, that old prostatic fluid can sit there. It can stagnate. Imagine a pond with no fresh water flowing in or out. It becomes murky, sludgy. Many experts believe something similar happens in the prostate. The old fluid can thicken. Its chemical composition can change. And this stagnation may trigger a low-grade chronic inflammatory response. Inflammation is your body's reaction to something it doesn't like, and it almost always involves swelling. So now you have two problems compounding each other: the underlying growth from BPH and an additional layer of inflammatory swelling from congestion. This combination can make that clamp on your urethra even tighter, worsening your urinary symptoms. The logical conclusion of the stagnation hypothesis is compelling. If stagnation is the problem, then flushing the system should be the solution. Ejaculation serves as a powerful full-body muscular contraction that squeezes this prostate sponge, expelling the old stagnant fluid and making way for fresh fluid. It's like a biological reset button. Right? Clearing out these inflammatory agents, you may be able to reduce that secondary swelling and, in turn, relieve some of the pressure on your urethra. This explains why many of my patients have told me, anecdotally, that they experience a stronger, more satisfying urinary stream for a day or two after an ejaculation. It's a powerful theory. But is there any hard scientific proof? The answer is a stunning yes. For years, the link between ejaculation and prostate health was just a theory whispered about in clinics and medical schools. But then, researchers at Harvard University decided to put it to the test. And the results were nothing short of a landmark discovery in men's health. They conducted a massive study, one of the largest and longest of its kind. They followed nearly 32,000 professional men for almost 2 decades. Every few years, these men answered detailed questionnaires about their health and lifestyle, including a very personal question: how often do you ejaculate? The researchers tracked these men for years, waiting to see who would eventually develop prostate cancer. I want to stress, they were looking at prostate cancer, not BPH. But what they found has profound implications for all aspects of prostate health. After 18 years of data collection, the results were undeniable. The men in the high-frequency group, those ejaculating around 21 times a month or more, had a staggering 31% lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to the men in the low-frequency group. Let that sink in. A nearly 1/3 reduction in risk for one of the most common cancers in men, linked to a perfectly natural bodily function. This wasn't some small, obscure study. This was Harvard. This was tens of thousands of men over nearly 2 decades. This is as close to a medical bombshell as it gets. So why would this happen? The researchers proposed a few key reasons, which align perfectly with our stagnation hypothesis. The flush-out effect. Regular ejaculation clears out old fluid, and with it, any potential cancer-causing agents or carcinogens that might have built up in the ducts. Reduced inflammation. As we discussed, flushing the system reduces the stagnation that can lead to chronic inflammation, which is a known driver of cancer. Less cellular stress. The regular turnover of fluids and cells might lead to a healthier, more stable cellular environment within the prostate, making it less susceptible to cancerous changes. While this study focused on cancer, the message for your overall prostate health is crystal clear. A prostate that is regularly flushed is a healthier prostate. A prostate with less inflammation and less cellular stress is a happier prostate. It stands to reason that what's good for preventing cancer is also good for managing the symptoms of BPH. All right, let's put all the pieces together and deliver a final verdict. We've looked at BPH, the stagnation theory, and the groundbreaking Harvard cancer study. So what's the bottom line? Does frequent ejaculation harm your prostate? Based on the best and most extensive scientific evidence we have, the answer is an unequivocal no. The old myths and fears about this act wearing out your parts or causing damage are simply not supported by science. Any claims suggesting it's inherently harmful are, frankly, completely backward when you look at the hard data. Is it neutral? For some men, perhaps. If your BPH is very advanced and the obstruction is purely mechanical and severe, you might not notice a significant difference in your urinary symptoms. In that case, the act is neutral for your symptoms, but it's still likely providing that long-term cancer risk reduction benefit, which is far from neutral. Does frequent ejaculation help your prostate? Here the evidence is overwhelmingly positive. Yes. It is very likely to be helpful in two major ways. First, symptomatically for BPH. While it won't reverse the underlying growth, by reducing congestion and inflammation, it has a strong potential to ease the symptoms. This might mean a stronger stream, less frequent urination, and a greater sense of relief. Second, protectively against cancer. This is the proven heavyweight champion benefit. The data shows a powerful link between frequent ejaculation and a significantly lower risk of developing prostate cancer. The shocking truth is not that masturbation is dangerous. The shock is that for decades, men have been living with a problem, feeling shame about a potential solution, when the two are directly and beneficially connected. The very thing you might have been worried about is something your body is designed to do, and which actively contributes to the health of your prostate gland. Understanding these signals from our bodies is critical, especially for men over 40. This information is empowering, but it needs to be applied wisely. This is not a prescription to force yourself into something that feels unnatural. It's about reframing a natural act as a part of your personal health regimen.
First, find your rhythm. The Harvard study noted a benefit at 21 or more times per month, but that's an observation, not a prescription. Don't get hung up on a magic number. The key is consistency and regularity. Whether that's daily, every other day, or a few times a week, find a rhythm that feels right for your body and your libido. This is about health maintenance, not a performance quota. Second, this is a tool, not a cure. Let me be perfectly clear. If you are having significant urinary problems, masturbation is not a replacement for seeing a qualified urologist. It is a powerful complementary strategy. You still need a proper diagnosis to rule out anything more serious and to discuss the full range of proven medical treatments that can provide relief. Think of this as one piece of your overall wellness plan. Third, pain is your body's stop sign. Ejaculation should not be painful. If you experience pain during or after, that's a red flag. It could indicate a more acute infection, like prostatitis, or another issue that needs medical attention. Do not push through pain. Stop and make an appointment. Fourth, build a prostate-healthy lifestyle. You can't just rely on this one habit. It works best when combined with other smart choices. Eat more vegetables and reduce red meat and high-fat dairy. Get moving. Even 30 minutes of brisk walking each day improves blood flow to the pelvis and fights inflammation. And drink plenty of water to keep your urinary system flushed and healthy. We started this journey talking about a silent war being fought inside your body. The truth is, the biggest battle for most men isn't with their prostate. It's with silence, with shame, with the idea that as we age, we are supposed to become less vital, less alive.
The science we have discussed today is more than just data about fluid dynamics and cancer risk. It's permission. It's permission to let go of old, outdated ideas. It's permission to listen to your body. It's permission to take an active role in your own health in every way, without shame or apology. The prostate paradox is that its health may be intrinsically linked to the very acts of pleasure and release that define our vitality. To ignore this connection is to leave one of your best weapons on the battlefield untouched. Don't let embarrassment be the thief of your well-being. Have this conversation, if not with your doctor, then with yourself. Understand that taking care of your prostate is not just about managing symptoms. It's about taking ownership of your life, your health, and your right to feel good at every age. Thank you for your time and your courage in exploring this topic with me. Be well.